Hey everybody, it's Pit Rock, and today I would like to review two very fine weapons for you. Oftentimes when people are looking for Commander style frames, I see a lot of questions out there. Is it Colt? Is it Springfield? Obviously Kimbers and others are in the mix as well, but I often see these two come up in conversation, and I happen to have both of them. So look, I'm going to start off by saying there's a lot of similarities in both of these handguns. They're both Commander-style frames. I will tell you the Springfield here is a 4-inch barrel versus the Colt, which is a 4.25. It's the traditional Commander length, but they are both, Commander-sized pistols and work off a full-size frame, not an officer-size frame. Both, as you can see, come with a combat hammer, a skeletonized trigger. Again, same with the Colt. You've got Novak sights on both. We'll talk a little bit about the difference in sights, but just to let you know, the Springfield does come with Trijicon night sights, which again are Novak style as well. This review, though, I'd like to focus on some of the differences because that's a lot of times the questions that are asked. Both guns do come with 2 mags. The Springfield, however, you're going to get 2 Springfield mags, excellent mags, but they are 7-round mags. Versus your Colt, you're going to get 2 mags as well, but they are 8-round mags. Again, some people opt to go ahead and get the Wilson mags anyways. I've found personally no issues at all with the mags that were provided with both of these pistols. Both of these, by the way, have had about 300 or 400 rounds in them since I've purchased them. The nice thing about the Springfield is it does come with a Serpa holster and also a mag holder as well. I don't find a lot of use in it. It's just a plastic mag, but at least you got something when you take it home. So you don't have to get, as you know, the holsters themselves, particularly the leather inside waistbands, whether you're getting the Versamax, Mil Sparks, or I carry an Alessi, which I really like. But they generally run quite a bit of money. So at least you do have a holster to take with you. The other nice thing about Springfield is that you get a discount coupon inside the box if you buy the gun new, and they will actually provide to you some deep discounts on leather holsters as well as additional mags, range bags, etc. So that's kind of a nice gimme that comes with the Springfield. As far as these are basically the boxes. This, as you can see, is a traditional blue Colt box that comes with the Colt. Springfield Armory, again, very similar. The only thing I'll mention with the Springfield, like I said, you get the included Serpa holsters and mag holders. Also, you get a takedown tool, which is nice, and a brush, a cleaning brush that goes along with that. So you get a couple more things with the Springfield that you don't necessarily get with the Colt. Alright, look, here's what I want to talk about. I'm going to talk to you today about the frame, the barrel, the grips, and we're going to focus a little bit on the mainspring housing, the differences between these two firearms. As far as the frame, I'll start with the Colt. It's a satin stainless. That's one of the first differences you see. Now this happens to be a 2011 model. If you're thinking about getting the Colt, now's the time to get one. They're all being stamped with the 100 years of service. This is the 100-year mark anniversary for the 1911, and what better gun to get than the Colt? So they do have the roll marks now. I think they look nice. On the other side, you've got your more traditional Colt. You'll notice it does not say Combat Commander this year. I know some of the years they actually do write Combat Commander on them. Whereas, again, if I take the Springfield, it's very, again, traditional, along with what they've done nothing special, if you will, for 2011. You'll also see the Made in Brazil stamp on the Springfield. All of their 1911s, whether Commander size or full-size frames, do actually come from Brazil. A lot of people don't know that. If you get an NM marked serial number, the final fitting, from what I understand, is done in the U.S., but the gun itself is still manufactured in Brazil. Let's talk a little bit about the beveling. This was kind of interesting. You're going to find your Colt is very traditional. The lines are very sharp, with the exception of right underneath the frame here. They put some beveling, but pretty much everywhere else on the Colt is going to be very sharp edges. A lot of people, when they get them, you know, there are some complaints around there for carry. You can bring this to any good qualified gunsmith and have beveling done on the gun. I personally have carried this. I don't find it to be a problem. You'll also find in the magwell itself little to no beveling whatsoever. So that's something to keep in mind with the Colt. When you're taking a look at the Springfield, again, you've got beveling in the front, right? You've got a beveled magwell also, and just I'd say some general, you know, just some finer touches around the slide, etc. You can tell that it's had a little bit of a melding treatment, which does make it quite nice for carry. The other thing I should mention is that the Springfield is bright stainless. You know, look, it looks nicer in my mind than the Colt, personally. You may like the satin, but I find it shines. It's got a little bit of bling to it, which is kind of cool. They both do come with an ambi safety. The beaver tail on the Colt has a little bit more of a stylish look, versus the Colt itself is more of a traditional grip safety. All right, let's talk a little bit about the barrel itself. If you look at the Springfield, you can see it's a bushingless design. The other thing that's interesting, if you take a look, you know, the Colt I'll talk about in a second, where it has a bushing, but the barrel itself, you're getting a bull barrel in the Springfield versus a traditional 1911 barrel out of the Colt. Now, they're going to tell you that a bull barrel is going to give you better accuracy. I can tell you that both of these guns, I've fired them, and I'd have to give the edge a little bit to the Colt in this one. Both of these guns can outshoot me. They'll shoot better than I can, but I just feel that the Colt feels a little bit better in the hand, and I do tend to get a little tighter groupings with the Colt. That doesn't mean that's going to be the same way for everyone across the board. But I can tell you the Colt, having that bushing, is much easier to take down than the Springfield. Now, if you have, you know, if you've got the H&Ks, Glocks, SIGs, you'll be very familiar with the takedown process on a bushingless design. Simply, you're basically taking one hand and you're moving the slide back a little bit, and you're taking out your takedown pin. So, you know, after that, they do give you a tool. Well, it's a little tiny collar that you can put in here. You don't have to have it, but it does make the job much easier in terms of takedown and reassembly. Another key difference, I'll move on to the mainspring housing. This is one that a lot of people don't know about, you don't read about too much, but the mainspring housing on the Springfield is a full stainless steel housing. You do have something called the ILS. It's an interlocking safety, internal locking safety, and what this allows you to do is to insert a key that comes with the firearm, and that key will actually lock this gun down, so that if kids or anybody for that matter were to find this, even if it's loaded, it would disable the ability to fire the weapon. So that's nice. Some people change these out because they feel they don't need it, and they'll put a more traditional mainspring housing in, but that is a nice plus that you get with the Springfield. Now we'll talk about the Colt. The color matchup is great, but what you're looking at right here is actually a plastic mainspring housing. Colt does that for a couple reasons. It's plastic, so it does weigh less than the stainless steel. This is also an area that tends to get, you know, if there is a part of the gun when it's in the holster that tends to touch the skin quite a bit, it's going to be this area here. So it tends to hold up a little bit better than the stainless would, so you don't have to worry about rusting, etc. from moisture. Also, the plastic in here is designed to be more self-lubricating of the mainspring. So a lot of people switch it out. Personally, I think what Colt did here, it's a nice design if the plastic doesn't bother you. It seems to bother some people. While I'm on the Colt here as well, I want to mention there's a lot of talk about MIM parts, or you know, metal injected molding. Way back, you know, you know, for custom guns, they tend to make these parts by hand. They're hand tooled. Metal injection molded is simply it's a manufacturing process. Colt does use minimal MIM parts. There are some, however. But the Springfield here, you're going to find the majority of parts that are in the Springfield, pretty much everything is going to be an MIM type part. Okay? There are a lot of good MIM parts out there today. No need to worry. Again, I've put several hundred, a few hundred rounds through each of these firearms and not had any problems whatsoever. Lastly, I'm going to talk to you about the grips. They're both wood grips. The Springfield itself comes with Cocobolo grips with the double cannon design. Very nice. They feel great. The Colt, actually, I think they're a little thinner. They feel a little thinner in the hand, and they're going to come with rosewood grips. So the rosewood on the satin stainless does actually look really nice. To finish this up, both of these are excellent firearms. You can't do wrong with either one of them. Springfield probably gets the edge on the customer service, although I've had good service with Colt in the past. I can also tell you, having had Colts from way back in the 70s and 80s, the quality has improved significantly with the Colt. That's very important to mention because I myself was even turned off to Colt for a number of years, and I'm a proud owner of a Colt firearm today. The Springfield is probably going to come in at about $50 less than the Colt. You get a lot for your money. Again, if the Made in Brazil stamp bothers you, then go with the Colt. Don't even mess around. But I will tell you that Springfield makes a really good firearm, and they've got a lifetime warranty, and they don't care who owns the gun. They don't care if it's you or if you sell it to somebody else. That person will get the same level of service that you would as the original owner. So with that, thank you for hearing me today, and any questions, feel free to post any feedback or comments. Thank you.